Okay, awesome. We're rolling. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm
Good.
busy.
Um,
You've
I
been
wanted to
busy.
I wanted to talk to you about one of the reasons why I selected you as
hmm
a winner. I think that it's important for me to have winners who are kind of fluctuating on the scale of on the end of beginner and advanced. And while you do have competing history, you're someone who's looking for more like a general lifestyle, just finding your happy place from what I understand in your
Yeah.
application.
Yeah.
Just getting kind of mentally healthy in terms of your relationship with food, with your body, with your diet, and just finding a balance, right? From what I understand, is that somewhat correct?
Yeah. Correct. Yes.
Okay,
That's what
awesome.
I'm kind of stuck in that spot.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So what are you looking to get out of all of this? Like, what is your goal? Like, come the end of these 4 months, like, what's your goal? What do you envision this happening, or how do you envision this going for you?
I really want to get comfortable with definitely my body and comfortable with more being. Um, I obviously know a lot of stuff that I'm doing in the gym. Like I'm not. I clearly know some stuff, but I obviously don't know what works best for my body and what doesn't. Also, I'm not. I don't really know what I kind of know what to eat, but also at the same time, I don't know how much, when, what to do and when pretty much. I know like I can choose healthy options and I know what to somewhat pick, obviously
Mhm.
from my competing background and prep and everything. But also I kind of like, I just really want to get more comfortable with being healthy and getting my body all well around healthy and back to that happy spot to where I know I can compete again because not all hope is lost with that spectrum. But um, I really think I can learn a lot from you and learn a lot of ways to help myself afterwards and carry it on throughout my gym life. I don't know what that's called.
No,
What's
I
that
totally
called?
get it. Yeah, I totally understand because like a lot of times that I see people struggle with is like they'll do some shows, they'll compete for a while, and then they'll stop competing, and during their off season or their time away from the stage, they experience like weight gain or like a bad rebound, and then things like never get kind of collected, and um, it's never
Right.
kind of kept on a tighter leash, and that leash just ends up being let go of, and then we're back to square one basically, and then living
Right.
life in the off season isn't enjoyable because you feel like because you're not happy, you want to keep dieting, and then those attempts to diet are then failed because of your unhealthy relationship with food, and then like it's this
Right.
like never ending like playing catch up. Like I've been there
Never
before.
cycle.
I've been there before and it sucks. Like it's miserable because then you can't enjoy your time away
Right.
and during your contest prep, like you're focused on the show, of course, then you're like, oh man, I can't wait to, be able to eat with family after. I can't wait to go on a date with my significant other after. And then
hmm
there's then that time when you are in the off season and then you feel like you can't enjoy it because that leash isn't kept tighter. You know what I mean?
Right. I try and
Um,
kind of not punish myself, but I think in the back of my mind, oh, I'm like out here eating, like I want to go out to eat and do stuff, but also at the same time, I know, okay, well, I've got to get back in the gym and hustle because that's what I like to do and that's what I know I need to do. But
mhm.
also, it's like it's like I have no direction and
Yeah.
I don't do well right now with no direction, just kind of winging it. So
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Like you just kind of feel like you're floating in thin air
yeah,
feeling.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that you have experience with a meal plan. I know that you're disciplined, and I know that you are very goal oriented. Just
Yeah.
because of the little that I do know about you from Lindsay, because Lindsay and I
Mhm.
talk all the time, and I know you guys are really good
Yeah.
friends too. So that's cool that we have a mutual friend, and I've never gotten to actually like speak to you, so this is pretty cool.
I know. I know.
'Cause
It's
I
super.
always hear of you, but I've never actually spoken to you, so this is fun.
Well, hey.
Um, yeah, so it's a small world. Funny how like things work
I
out
know.
like this, but
I know.
yeah. So I know you're disciplined, and I know that that switch in there is it is accessible and it can be turned on, but it's just harder when you're in a spot where you don't have like an end goal, you don't have a time frame, like you don't have a specific date, and then making that switch mentally to still be able to execute like you did, like you do have a plan, like you are holding yourself accountable for something. I know that you have that in you. All of us do. It just takes sometimes like a wake up call, or just honestly, it takes getting tired of your own bull crap. You know what I mean?
That's me. So
selected you because I know that you have experience with competing in the past, and you are capable of discipline and execution and all those things entailed with that. And the fact that I think you want to not never compete again, but just get into a place where you're healthy and happy mentally and physically in your off season when you aren't or preparing for a contest. I think that's awesome that people want to do that and, maintain a healthy life outside of doing show after show, because that's important. And I honestly really look up to you for that, because it's hard for me to want to take a long break, because one thing that does hold me back from that is thinking, well, what if I let myself go too far? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is kind of like a cloud over some people's head, I know. But I did want to get into some questions with you. I want to know, I know you said you follow like mostly like intuitive, like you track macros sometimes, like you you know what you're eating, but like on a regular day, like today, for example, like what does your diet consist of?
So I'll usually kind of go between a few things. I'll usually have a bagel in the morning, try and have like an egg or two, usually a whole egg, not just egg white. And after that, I don't eat until, another 4 hours maybe. And then I'll have ground turkey, green beans. Well, I haven't had green beans in a while. Ground turkey or chicken, and then it'll be a vegetable. It's not always the greatest vegetable, like a mixed vegetables of corn and peas and green beans of some sort. Today I had ground turkey and spinach. Later after the gym or before the gym, I'll have another bagel or some kind of carb source, rice. After that, protein shake. And after that, it's usually kind of what I've kind of cooked, like ground turkey, and if my boyfriend has spaghetti noodles or something, that last meal is kind of like something that makes me feel a little bit better about eating. Can you please not talk?
Yeah, something you can like enjoy at the end of the day.
Right. Something that I didn't have. Yeah, something kind of like I didn't have earlier, so I'm not so like this is this is this, but it usually ends up being the same thing. Ground turkey, vegetables, and I'll probably have another carb source as well. But that's about it. I don't really eat, I don't know, maybe 1, 2, 3, 5 meals.
Okay.
And that'll probably be my last meal. I haven't been eating too much, but also at the same time, I feel like I've been having a lot of carbs. Because I went from having not a whole lot to trying to look at my other plans I had previously. I was like, I had carbs at this meal, so I need to probably go back and have carbs at this meal too. I think that was a great idea. Mm-hmm. So then I'll put them where I think I should put them, as opposed to normally just being before the gym and after the gym. But that's also another thing, like I don't really know where to put them other than before and after a workout. But that's usually about what my plan is. It's ground turkey and vegetables, carb source with eggs in the morning, and then protein shake and a carb source, protein, and peas or green beans afterwards. But that's about it.
Okay. And then how often do you like go out and have like untracked meals or like go out to eat and stuff like that?
It's probably maybe once, maybe twice a week, It's kind of rare. It's usually about once a week, whenever he's off and I'm off as well. But it truly, honestly depends. Throw it away. It's bad. He cut an avocado and showed it to me.
The big reveal.
Yeah, the big reveal. It's not good. Toss it. But yeah, it's probably once a week. Very rarely twice a week.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that I would want to keep in for you, like once a week, once every other week, depending on how you respond to the baseline diet that we set up together. Just because, like you want for yourself, this is not a contest prep. This is a season of life that's meant for you to enjoy and make memories and enjoy your time with people, and not be so restricted and confined to meals 1 through 6 of a contest prep diet, which I know you're familiar with. So. I was just curious as to how often those were, and what would you say, like, is your preference, like a meal plan versus the flexible dieting route?
So I know how, like, I've got my Fitness Pal on my phone, and I can usually just track some stuff. Like, I was tracking my macros for a little while. As I'm saying, like maybe a month, and it got pretty difficult to where I didn't have the time in the morning to plan out what I needed to fit where and how much of what, and I would get to the end of the day and be like, oh, I need, it was never more carbs, it'd probably be fat, so I usually like to just, it's easier whenever I have a meal plan and I know I need to eat this, because a lot of the time I don't have time to plan out. I think I need to have 4 eggs today, and I don't know, just,
Yeah, that's
a little easier.
I prefer the meal plan over the flexible dieting, because I talked about this with another client last night, but like, while the flexible dieting has taught me a lot and it teaches people a lot, and it helps you learn kind of like how to make substitutions and how to kind of just like mentally account for your food. Like I was telling her, it's like a bank account, like and managing your funds. Like it keeps you kind of accountable to what you're eating, how much you're eating, and you kind of get familiar with all the food sources and the value, the nutritional value that they have. And but from the planning aspect, like I tried it last year during my off season and the flexible dieting, and it was more stress than I ever assumed it would be, just because of my busy schedule and having to worry about planning things out and calculating things. And I am glad that you are open to the meal plan, just because I think the best option is the only option. That way you don't have wiggle room for maybe fitting this in and then trying some of this, and then you end up having more of this because it was good. And then like there's like I've tried both ways, and while like I see a lot of the flexible dieting glamorized on Instagram and on social media, and I'm glad it works for some people, and not to say it doesn't work for you or I, but I think from an adherence aspect and from someone with a busy schedule like ourselves, the meal plan is where I would want to start off, and it's not like it has to be boring chicken and broccoli all day long. Like, you're going to have a meal that you enjoy in the evening. Like, it's not going to be limited to just like basic food. I want you to still have stuff that's going to sit well with you, that's going to digest well, that you are going to enjoy, but that's not also within nutritional value, of course. Like, I'm going to probably prioritize your meal timing and your carbohydrate sources in the morning after you wake up, and then around your training. And then what I really want to learn is how your body responds to carbohydrates and like your insulin sensitivity. Because if you are having carb meals throughout the day, like all day long, it's likely that you don't have a very high level of insulin sensitivity. You might be insulin resistant. So have you ever taken any kind of GDA, or do you check your blood sugar or anything?
Yeah, I used to check my blood sugar. I actually stopped doing that because it kind of, previously we had issues every single day. It would vary. If it wasn't below 100, somebody thought I had a problem. So it was usually around like 104. Sometimes it was 113 in the morning. It honestly kind of floated in between there. I never really got below 100, but I actually checked it the other day. It was 90, 98, 99. It's like the first time in a while. Mm-hmm. But I used to check it every day, every morning. And yeah, I mean, it was okay, but I don't mind checking it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, it could have something to do with maybe the meal you're eating before bed, because you don't necessarily need like a giant bowl of pasta before bed. Not saying you're eating that, but like
Right.
just being smarter about nutrition timing, and then utilizing nutrients properly so that you do get the most out of the spike of insulin that you receive from the carbohydrate source. So something that we'll probably do together is, yeah, at least check our blood sugar on your check-in day and let me know what it is.
Okay.
Maybe like since yours is reading a little higher, maybe like twice a week, and that way I don't get just like one reading, just like we wouldn't check the scale just once a week. I'd want a couple weigh-ins each week, just to kind of have an average number. But then maybe utilizing a glucose disposal agent before your carb meals, not before training, but before your breakfast, because I'll tell you now that you're going to have carbohydrates with your breakfast, and if you have carbohydrates in other meals around your training, I would suggest using them then too, because you don't want to end up taking too much of a GDA and then suppressing your insulin sensitivity, and that way you're crashing during your workout. So you need that spike before your training, but you also don't want it to be spiked all day because you don't want to be resistant to the insulin. But how many days a week are you training right now?
Oh, 6.
6 days. Okay. And how many days a week are you doing cardio?
Probably about almost every day that I work, I do cardio because it just gets me ready for the day. So that depends between 4 and 5. Actually, on my off day, if Jake has a workout, I'll go in and do cardio. So it's usually about 4 to 5 days a week.
Okay. For how long and what what kind of intensity?
So it's usually on. We've got an elliptical here, and I've been doing about 25 minutes just in the morning time. I had done 35, and my hips kind of started getting tight. I don't know. I just kind of felt like I needed to lay off of it for a little bit, or just kind of relax it or something. I don't know. We have a 24-hour gym, so I've thought about going in the morning time and going to do something a little bit easier on my body. Mm-hmm. But that's whenever I was getting up at 4 a.m., and that was kind of hard to go over there and come back and get ready and do all kinds of stuff. But it was about 25 minutes, and I'll say it's about, it wasn't too intense like HIIT. It was just kind of like a moderate, steady state.
Okay.
Maybe lift. I kind of zone out sometimes, and it just stays lower intense or lower steady state, like it's not too intense. Okay. It's just moving.
Okie doke. I'm making just some notes. So making notes so that when I write your plan, I have this all to reference. And then you are on medication for T3 and T4. What dose? How many micrograms?
It is I believe it's a point. Jake, I think it's a 0.5 microgram. Jake, can you get my medicine right there, please? My T3 and T4. Sorry, I want to tell you the right dosage. Is
it levothyroxine and liothyronine? Okay.
Yes. Tell me how much micrograms the levo and the lio are.
5 for the lio.
That's B12. Levothyroxine is 50 micrograms, and then the lio is 5 micrograms.
Okay.
So more T3 than T4?
Okay, yeah, usually like, because I work in a clinic, and when we compound the medication, or we don't compound it, but when we order the scripts, we see a lot more T3 and than T4 when we write up the compounds and stuff for the pharmacy to make.
He just put me on the T4 not too long ago. So you just kind of threw a little bit in there, and it kind of levels me out a little bit better.
Okay. Have you noticed any appetite changes since introducing that or anything? Any kind of like fluctuations or any fatigue?
In my weight?
Huh?
You mean like in my weight wise?
Yeah, fluctuations in weight or fluctuations in energy.
So I kind of get I was, so adding the T4 in there made me feel less sluggish than I normally was. Like before, I felt like I needed a nap midday, and that's just not going to happen because I don't have time for that. But I still haven't been able to lose weight easily. Still being on it, that's been one of my things that I tell my doctor all the time. It's like I'm not really losing much weight. Hair's kind of thin, but besides that, not really losing weight. Weight just seems like to be a big problem. And before, people would think, oh, she's just not adhering to this and not doing this the way she needs to do it. But I was doing things the way I needed to do them. It just felt more difficult. I don't know. But that's just been an ongoing thing right now. And I kind of need to go back to him because, I mean, I'm due for my appointment anyways, but it's just still kind of hard to get the scale moving quicker than slower.
Yeah. So, I mean, ideally your goal would be to lose some weight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
While being able to live your life as someone not looking to do a show in the near future. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I definitely do not want to gain weight here by any means.
Okay. Okay. So we'd want to improve metabolism, recomp
completely
your shape, and just get to a place where you feel confident and you're still able to enjoy life. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely want to feel better in the gym. Like I get there and I'm like, I know I work out, but I feel like nobody can tell that I even work out. I can't tell sometimes. And I'm like, who is this girl?
I hear you. How many, like, when you counted your calories last, how many calories were you eating?
I don't remember. I'd have to look at my stuff, and I can send you a picture of what I wrote down.
Okay.
I truly don't remember.
Okay, or even if like the next few days, because I'll send you everything when we start on the 11th. That's our start date.
Okay.
So even the next few days, if you want to just eat as you normally would, don't alter anything because we just had this conversation, but track your food like at the end of the day. So don't pre-plan anything. Don't try and schedule your day around food. Just eat as you normally would, and then at the end of the day, make a list of what you had and plug it in your MyFitnessPal, and just send me screenshots of your totals at the end of the day, and that way we can kind of take averages and see, and also take your weight, your body weight in consideration, and make a note of that each day, and we can see if that fluctuates depending on the calories you're hitting daily, or if you're just staying the same. And that'll kind of give me a good idea of what your maintenance is now, if you are maintaining. Because would you say that you've just been kind of stagnant the past few weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you've been just like unintentionally maintaining.
Yeah.
weight. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just boringly doing what I do every day.
Okay. And then what is your training like?
So I usually I'll do you just want my training split, or so I'll do legs on Monday. We'll start on Sunday. Sunday's a cardio day. And I'll try and do 30, on our Stairmaster. I'll do 35 minutes on our Stairmaster, or my boyfriend and I will do some HIIT kind of thing afterwards. But our Stairmaster kind of ends at 35, and I kind of after 35, my hips start to hurt. Like I'm 80 years old. So cardio day Sunday, legs on Monday, and that's more of a glute ham focus. Tuesday is arms and a little bit of shoulders, and then Wednesday is back. Thursday I'll kind of take it off, or I'll switch between Thursday and Friday. However back made me feel, and if I'm still tired from legs, Monday, I'll switch that. But then the next day back on it is legs with a more of a glute focus, because I feel like my quads grow really quickly. They're just there.
Yeah.
I really
past competition photos, and you've got some quads for sure.
Yeah. I don't really like to push those too much. But I know I still need to work them a little bit. So it's a little light touch of those, and then Saturday is just shoulders.
Okay.
And then
Are
Sunday,
you still following somewhat of your former coach's training style?
Yeah, I've got that one and another coach's, but I kind of flipped aside because I was I was bored with the last one because it had not changed for so many years. So I was just kind of bored with it. So now I'll throw things in there that I like to do. I'm not going to do something because it's what that paper says to do, and I didn't like it anyway, so I don't want to do it. Like a certain few things, I just exchange them with something else.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But for the most part, you're pretty consistent with your movements, with your compounds and stuff. You're not like going to, like you're arriving at a buffet, pretty much.
Oh, right. Right. I can't stand that because then I'm in there for like 20 minutes and I don't know what I'm doing, and I just walk around the gym like I don't know what to do with my hands.
So going forward, we're going to make a training split for you, and it'll be, I don't want to like completely wipe what you had and then start from scratch. I want to kind of like roll into gradual changes and not just completely flip your life upside down. I want to make the transition.
Hey, it's okay.
Easy. I want to make it as realistic and as maintainable as possible for you. I'm not trying to completely turn things around here because it's not like everything's completely broken. You do have a solid foundation and understanding of it all. So from your split, we can incorporate that if that works with your schedule, and then just switch the workouts to the style that I think is going to best benefit you. And that is, I know because we've worked with someone similar, that is less volume and more intensity within less reps, meaning that you're going to be training heavier and harder within a shorter rep range. So you'll have a given amount of reps. You'll have like your warm-up set and then a few feeder sets where you're working up to that weight, that top set. And then in your top set, you'll have different kind of styles of performing the exercise, but ultimately your top set is going to be taking whatever you can, for the most part, for a ride for whatever that given rep range is.
Okay.
And then just pushing numbers there. And I want you to, if you can, download the Strong app. It's free. It's just called Strong, and you're able to track your workouts, and you can log your entire workout, and then it'll actually, like the next week when you go back to repeat that workout, it'll tell you, like it'll have pre-filled what you did last week, and then you can make adjustments, or either, it'll say last week you did this, and then you can plug in what you did today, and then you can kind of reflect and see, did my weight go up? Did my reps go up? Did this increase? Did this decrease? That's going to be really good for me to make note of, because that way I can tell, like, if you're getting, like, if your weight, for example, is staying the same but your body's changing, perhaps you're getting stronger, you're building some muscle, we're successfully recomping. So the scale weight doesn't necessarily have to go down. If I'm seeing things like that, like your weight increase in your workouts, the weight you're using during your training increase, that means you're getting stronger, you're building muscle, so the scale number doesn't necessarily have to go down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. So that's an awesome tool that I use and I suggest for everyone, because it's so easy, and it's really, like, I know, like, at first when I thought about tracking and logging my training, I was like, this is so annoying. I don't want to do it. I don't want to.
I'm on my phone the whole time.
Yeah, like, I don't want to get on my phone and, like, nitpick at everything I'm doing, but it's really, like, right now at this point it's mindless. Like, I just have the app open while I train, and I just plug it in as I go, because you're going to take a sip of water or do something on your phone and fidget between sets anyway, and you need the rep time. Yeah. So it doesn't take that much extra thought, I promise, but it's just going to be really helpful for us going forward. Any kind of, like, food allergies or things that you avoid or would prefer not to have or use or anything like that?
I'm not a fan of mushrooms, but that's just, I mean, that's whatever. That's the only thing I really, truly don't like.
Okay.
I don't have any allergies, so we're good there.
Okay. So we went over your goals. We went over your diet currently, and then kind of like what we foresee it to be, the meal plan. And, it's not like we're going to be eliminating everything you're having now. I just want something more structured and organized so that it's easier for us to get an idea of how we're going to navigate these next 4 months, and what we can expect to see from your body is only going to be easier to tell when I have all those variables under control. And let's see, we'll incorporate the free meals. We'll do a training split that is similar to what you have now, but just a different style of training. Because I want you to still be able to do what works for you in your schedule and do what you enjoy in the gym. I don't want you to have something on a piece of paper that you are dreading because it's not fun for you. I don't want any of this to not be enjoyable for you. And if there's anything in the diet, in the cardio, in the training that you want to adjust or swap or anything, just ask me and let me know, because almost 99% of the time, like, this exercise can be substituted with this one. If this one hurts, then we can fix it with this, and then that can be corrected with some other thing, or like dietary wise, like we can swap X with O, like whatever. It's not like end all be all thing. So just communication and just touching base with me about literally anything, because that's what I'm here for you for. I'm not just someone to tell you your diet and cardio, see you next week. I want to hear about your week. I want to hear about any stressors. I want to hear about your appetite. I want to hear about your sleep, your caffeine intake, like all those things. They need to be addressed, and they need to be heard from you to me. So I just want to make a point that communication is so huge. So if you're, feeling off one day, or if you feel any type of way about anything, you have my contact on WhatsApp. You can message me anytime. That's what I'm here for, a resource for you. So the more you communicate to me, the more I can help you. So just, don't be afraid to reach out to me for anything you need. And that doesn't start on the 11th. You can reach out to me now. So, I just want to make myself available to you for whatever you need. I'm here for you. So I want to be not necessarily holding your hand, but I want you to know that I'm supporting this goal of yours. So that pretty much covers all the questions that I wanted to go over. Is there any questions you have for me, or anything that you wanted to make me aware of, anything you wanted to address?
Oh, good. I'm going to think of it later, and I'll just have to text you, because now I'm going blank.
No, it's okay.
So sometimes at work I get to where we just get so busy with calls that I can't strictly eat at 9 a.m. or 11. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure, before I may be able to, sometimes I really honestly, I can't get to my car to even drink a protein shake. Are we going to be, would that be okay if I can eat something, I don't know, if I can't eat that meal that certain time, I get kind of stressed out about it, because I don't want it to be such a huge deal, but I know, nutrient timing and my meals kind of need to be, I like to eat around the same time every day anyways. So what do you think would be the best? I mean, I guess we'll get there when we get there, and I usually carry a protein shake with me. I just get kind of nervous. Sometimes I'm not going to be able to eat that meal. Sometimes 2 meals. Sometimes I go all day from 9 till 3, with nothing.
Okay.
So that may happen every now and then, but it's not a everyday thing.
Okay. So we'll just make sure that your first meal is something that has a decent amount of carbohydrates that are slower digesting. So they're not going to be absorbed as quickly, and then we'll probably do a little bit of fat in there too, so that the digestion is slower even further, because fats kind of prolong the digestion of foods. So if you have cream of rice with nothing but itself, it's going to digest quicker than cream of rice with nut butter, or oatmeal with a whole egg. That's going to be drawn out a little bit more. You're going to have more a leveled out digestion, rather than just digest and then back to nothing. So that's just going to kind of help with your morning. And then if you miss a meal, if my day gets rearranged and I don't have meals 1 through 6 in order, I'll just push that second meal behind. As long as my pre and post workout carbs are where they are around my training. That's the most important thing. And if any other meal that you missed or needs to be adjusted, that just gets pushed back to later. But for like random miscellaneous items that you could have in your, I don't know if you have like a locker at work or just like a bag that you carry with you or in your car.
Yeah.
Like for a fat source, nuts or almonds, carb source, rice cakes. What was I going to say? Yeah, rice cakes or like maybe a piece of fruit or something. Or protein, just either protein powder or just like even chicken in a bag. Honestly, just like anything quick. Protein shake is fine. I just don't eat having protein shake for more than one meal a day, really. I mean, even 2 is fine. Just as long as it doesn't bother your digestion, as long as you're able to get it in, and your other food sources are coming from whole foods, it's not really a huge concern of mine. But just, keep those items in your car or wherever handy, just so when you need them, you can grab them.
Especially if I know I'm about to get sent to like a 2-hour call.
Yeah.
I can just whip that out real quick and just eat it on my way sometimes.
Yeah. That's gotta be tough. I can imagine. You must be like standing there taking care of someone. Like, I'd so much rather be eating my food.
I know. I'm like, am I really dealing with this right now? Like, there's so many other things. Like
I could be eating out of my Tupperware, but you're taking up my time.
Yeah, that meal's gonna be really good when I get back to it.
But yeah, just have these little things handy, and you'll be fine. I'm not worried about it, and you'll be somewhat full from your breakfast. We can make that like a more significant calorie amount of a meal, and then those other 2 meals leading up to your training might be a little bit smaller just because of your larger meal first thing. But yeah, I mean, I think you'll be able to handle it just fine.
And I can also message you like usually around the times that I do eat, and around the times that I kind of go to the gym, because I'll kind of like if I wake up early enough, or if I don't do cardio that morning, I kind of like roll out of bed and eat my food like 2 hours later. Because also my medicine, my doctor's like, oh, eat like 3 hours later, but that's a really long time to not eat. I'm like 3 hours. Like, who can wait 3 hours since they wake up? But yeah, so I usually have the times that I know I can usually eat when work is slower. So I'll try and text you those 2. Maybe I can like, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to eat what I can eat. Forget that.
Okay.
I was just thinking out loud, basically.
Go for it.
Let me think. Maybe there's... What all do you expect from me as, like, just going through this at the end? What do you expect from me to have from you guys at the end? Like, what do you think my end goal, a good end goal would be for me? Like, do you think my end goal is good, like what we discussed earlier, or do you think I should, I don't know, what do you think I'll get from this the most?
I think what you'll get out of this the most is being able to kind of rediscover that trust in yourself, that you get out of just following through with your actions and committing to what you really want, and just deciding that you are tired of your own crap and that it's time to get yourself in order to just enjoy where you are and feel like you're not chasing the next thing all the time in order to be happy, because you've got to be happy now. It doesn't come with a look or a destination or I'm going to be happy when this. Like, you have to do what you have to do to be happy right now. And sometimes that work is hard. Like, it's not supposed to be easy. So I think you'll find just a new sense of confidence. I think you'll be able to feel more comfortable in just your everyday way of life with how you feel and how you look, and that confidence is going to help you carry yourself differently, and also just your just the way you train, I think, is going to really improve your physique and give you the results that you want. Like we had mentioned before, like you wanting to just lose some body fat, but still not have to get to crazy conditions to get to a place you are happy. And it doesn't have to be that way. But just so you have this in mind and you can consider, it's not fixing and healing metabolism that is slower or difficult to work with. takes time. Like, for example, I was talking with Matt about this the other day because we were kind of making a joke out of it. When I first started working with him, we were talking as if, like the other day, we were talking as if I was like a 6-week challenge winner, for example. And when I first started working with him, it was at the beginning of summertime this year, and I was pretty much ready to get on a stage. I was ready to compete, and then everything was canceled. And I was in a very fragile spot. So since USA's was canceled, he wanted to increase my food because he wanted to get my metabolism in a better place. And I was all for it, but what I didn't expect was to gain 15 pounds back and then start from square one again. But in order to be in the place I am now with food and eat as much as I am now while getting ready for a contest, I had to be willing to go through that uncomfortable period to be able to reap the benefits now. So it's not something that's like a quick, immediate fix. It may be something we can do sooner than 4 months. It might be something that needs longer than 4 months. It's never an immediate thing. It's like the metabolism is so tricky. Like we're all so individual, and I'm also on a replacement dose of T3. So I've experienced some similar symptoms as you have. I know I can kind of relate to what you were feeling as far as like the energy and needing a nap thing. Like I totally get that.
We don't have time for that.
Yeah, so I just want to remind you that it is something that you need to be patient and it needs to take time. It needs to be something that's not rushed, and I don't want to limit this to 4 months. And I want to make as much happen for you in 4 months, but I can't make any promise that at that 4 month mark everything's going to be perfectly in order, because you really need to just pay attention to your trends on a weekly basis and your recovery and your diet and just how all those things just influence your body and what kind of direction that's all going. And if like back to that story with Matt, he was like, if you were a 6-week challenge client, you probably wouldn't have stuck with me because you wouldn't have had the results you want at the end of those 6 weeks, because 6 weeks after I started working with him, I was up 10, 15 pounds. You know what I mean? Like if I was
like, what the heck?
if I was someone who was kind of short-sighted and just didn't have that bigger vision, knowing that what would come out of it was better than what I was currently going through, then I wouldn't have been happy with the results. But the said result is later on, when you do get the benefit of sticking to what you're sticking to and just trusting the process and trusting that it's going to work. And we might even be at a spot where right now, if we find that while you're counting your calories that you're not eating a lot, that number is going to need to go up, because we can't recomp and burn fat and lose fat from a caloric deficit already. If you're already maintaining a weight that you don't want to be at, that's too high, that you don't want to be at in a caloric deficit technically, then that's something that needs to be addressed, and that's going to be addressed through further increasing calories until you get to a spot where you're able to maintain your weight. Like for example, he was increasing my food, and we would keep my food the same even for like weeks at a time, and I was still increasing weight and my food wasn't changing. So once we got to a spot where my body said, okay, this will do, but it was heavier, from there we knew, okay,
you don't like it.
Calories, yeah, exactly. These are the calories that I need to sit at for a little bit, be comfortable, be healthy, be able to eat this amount before we can take that back again. We need to let my body use what it's being given and let my metabolism catch up to that. So once your metabolism catches up to that kind of baseline maintenance number that we find, then we'll be able to then take away from that to put you in a calorie deficit to then do the ultimate goal, which is to burn fat, recomp. So during the first few months, like first month or two, are going to be just a game of waiting, I think, for your body to realize where its baseline, where its maintenance, where its happy place is. And once we find that happy place, we'll let it sit there for a minute. Once it sits there for a minute, then we'll have room to manipulate variables there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was actually watching y'all's video on my way back. Well, I was listening to it. I can't watch and drive. But I was listening to it, and I think Matt was talking about Matt was talking about raising your calories, and he was like, the ultimate goal, like, obviously, you know, talking about you wanting to go pro and going to be, but he was talking about raising your calories, and he wants you to be that girl who you don't want to be the girl on stage who's not eating enough, and then, you know, you can't take anything away from that, as like, he wants you to be eating a lot. You want to be that pro who's eating a lot, not like, you know.
Yeah, I don't ever want to get myself into the position where, I mean, I don't want to get myself back in the position to where I'm doing show after show and eating less and doing more cardio consistently every single time forward. You know, I want to be in the spot where metabolically I can be healthy and I can eat food, and, you know,
in the long run.
In one of the last videos too, and that's so awesome that you watched them. Thank you. But you know, if you're, you know, whether you're dieting for a show or just dieting to lose some fat, if you're someone who finds himself down-regulating constantly, then you need to really evaluate your time away from the diet. And if you're not spending enough time away from the diet, then your metabolism's never going to be firing on all cylinders, because we don't want to down-regulate the metabolism. That's going to make fat loss harder than it needs to be. So, I mean, I think we covered a lot of awesome stuff. If there is anything you need to ask questions of or are curious about or want to add that maybe you forgot to mention today, just message me on WhatsApp, and I will get back to you, whether it's a text or a voice memo. Like, usually I'm wearing a million hats, doing a million things all day, so that's why I have it on WhatsApp, so I can separate it from my normal text messages. So, like, I know when my clients are texting me, and I know when like friends, family, whatever, whoever is texting.
Somebody I can get back to, like, in a day or so.
No, I'll get back quick. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you being so open with me and sharing all those details, and I'm really excited to work with you. And I saw you apply. I was so happy because, you know, I want to give these opportunities to the right people, and even though, like I said, we never formally met, I really admired who you were from what I knew about you previously, and it was just me wanting to extend the helping hand and just be there for somebody who needed help. And I reviewed your application among a bunch of others, and the details that you provided stood out to me, rather than just being someone who's looking to get like a free contest prep. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I need a lot. I'll need a lot, but we can do it.
No,
I feel like I need a lot, but it's probably just me thinking I'm like not needy, but, you know, I feel like I have a lot of issues. I don't know.
That's fine. I think the same way. That's how I am to Matt.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, I'm high maintenance, and he's like, trust me.
Yeah. Exactly. I feel like I'm not high maintenance, but I feel like I am. I don't know. I just feel like I need a lot of different things.
That's normal. Just you care. People who
I feel like I need a lot of different things that I wasn't doing.
Yeah, exactly. People who don't think they're high maintenance probably don't include enough information, or don't express all that they need to. So it's the more, like I said, the more I know, the better. So share as much as you want with me, as much as you can, because that's only going to help me help you at the end of the day. But yeah, if there's anything you need to message me about, you have my number, so you can just shoot me a message whenever. But thanks so much for your time.
I'm so excited.
Me too. Thank you.
I can't wait till 11th. I was like, what day is it? I'm going to 6. I'm ready now.
Right. Well, I'll get everything ready in the next couple of days. If I have any questions for you, I'll shout you up. But again, thank you for hopping on this call with me. I'm so happy we got to chat and kind of get to know each other a bit more.
Me too. Yeah.
Have a good rest of your night. We'll be in touch, okay?
Thanks, girl. All right.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.